Do you know if you have? I know sometimes we think about it, especially when you get down and out, when you have those tough days, when you just can't get it right. Let's talk about it. So today I wanted to talk about if we peaked. I thought about that, and not necessarily me per se. I wanted to qualify that. And before I get into it, all opinions are solely my own and do not reflect the opinions of my employer, mainly because I work for the second largest recycling and waste company in the nation. I'm going to have a brief discussion, and at the end, I'll give you my contact information if I could be of service for your recycling and waste services at your facility. Now, I was curious to know if you feel that you have peaked. I actually was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, and he's like, man, I think this is as good as it gets. Like, meaning that he was settling career-wise, relationship-wise. Yeah, you know yourself out there. You know exactly who I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about a specific person. I'm talking about in general. If you're watching this on the live or you're watching on a replay, you know you've been there before. You're like, gosh. So it's like, sometimes you got to ask yourself, have you given up? Let's hope not. Let's talk about a few things to determine if you have peaked. So the first thing to cover, to think about that is, I was looking at, I started looking online in different topics and different articles that will probably conceptualize what I wanted to convey. And this is the thing, is that you feel like you have already peaked when you already feel that you have filled your self-fulfilling prophecy. What is that? Is it having 5 kids, 2, I don't know, 1 child, financially getting to that level? Like, you made your $1 million, I don't know. What is it for you? It could be anything. Now, the worst thing is we don't want to think that you've given up. Because sometimes, folks might give up because they don't have a good support system. They don't have folks nearby that they could pick up the phone and ask, hey, what do you think? Does this make sense? Am I in the right path? What do you suggest? Sometimes, you know what? The craziest thing, sometimes the best advice is from people that don't know you at all. Because typically folks that know you don't want to upset you, or they want to continue being your friend. So they might tell you what you want to hear. So consider that. Sometimes asking perfect strangers, obviously you have to frame it properly, and that's why professional help works. You got to consider that too as well. So highly recommend that. So another thing to consider is, you think that you can plan your life. If you're watching a replay or watching this live, if you could, gosh, give me the roadmap, give me the plan, give me the schematics. I would love to learn that. And guess what? And I'm going to sell it and be a millionaire, because I'll be providing the plan for life for everyone. But it's not that easy. If it was, we all would follow it, right? Basically, it's like the perfect world. And if we lived in that world, it might be a little boring. Do you agree? I know it'll be boring for me. I like the change. I like the ups and downs. I love the ebbs and flows. You appreciate the high life when you experience the low lives, or the low times for that matter, not the low lives. Now, the other thing to consider, and I like the way they break it down in this article, is you believe happiness is linear. It has to be this way. And happiness is subjective. My version of happiness may not be the same for you, or vice versa. You got to consider that. So, what does happiness look like to you? Share that in the comments. I'm just curious. Let me know what does that look like? Is it having 2 grandchildren, having a grandchild that admires you, having a daughter, having a son that is lived or exceeded your expectation? Or is it exceeding your parents' expectation? Better yet, exceeding your own expectations. Because I'm sure if you're watching this, there's things that you want out of life. It could be a happy marriage. It could be material things. Or it could just be solitude. What is it for you? Obviously, solitude, the word solitude seems a bit somber. But I tell you this much, I've known a lot of people that are happy in silence. Is that you? So you got to consider all these things as we're getting down to the last one, which ultimately, if you peak, that means that you're not here anymore. You have already reached the plateau, the epic. And obviously you haven't. You still have many years ahead of you. There's people that care for you, that want to be there for you and support you. And you should be there for them as well. Have you challenged yourself? You could do it. And I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts about that in the comments. Be sure to share this video with someone else that feels that they have peaked. You still have a lot more years ahead of you. You got a lot of friends that care about you and want to be in your life. To do that, share your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what do you wake up for? What drives you every single day? That's the key thing. You got to ask yourself, why are you here? Why are you actually pushing yourself every single day? It can be for material things. I mean, I know sometimes it makes it feel good, to have nice things. But it's not everything. So you have to ask yourself, what drives you? And you haven't peaked, because if you have, gosh, you haven't. So knowing that you haven't peaked, what are you going to do to make sure that before that time comes, you've made an impression in people's lives, created a legacy? What is it going to take? Who knows? It might be a perfect stranger that you impact their lives. Utilize every single moment in life as an opportunity to make a difference. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, I provide recycling and waste services for businesses here in Metro Atlanta. My focus is industrial, manufacturing, and logistical companies. If that sounds like you and you need my help and you haven't peaked, give me a call at 678-683-9136. I mentioned it before, but I'll tell you again. My name is Marcello Arcele. and I look forward to working with you. And as I've said it time and time again, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.